What we're focusing on today?
Yeah, because like I've had a lot of clients recently actually come up and talk to me about the guilt that surrounds them after they go off of plan, or even so much as like the social guilt that they get when they're around people and they don't want to go drinking, they don't want to go eat shitty food, don't want to do those types of things, and how like I was bringing it up to them and we were chatting about it and we could tell that like it creates this almost like a snowball effect where you get a little bit of guilt, which leads to some other negative emotions, which leads to a bad decision, which leads to more guilt, which leads to more negative, and it just keeps compounding. Compounds to overeating essentially, or being depressed, not wanting to go out to social events. A lot of my clients, actually the majority of the clients that I work with are individuals that have always been part of like overweight families, overweight friend groups and shit like that, and yeah, like they struggle with that. But the upside is like I'm decently good at being able to explain why you don't need to have guilt around that kind of stuff. Like it's about balance, having real life. If you take one day and you fall off of your diet plan for one day, it doesn't mean that like you're shit out of luck and you're not going to be getting the results that you want. The problem that happens is when you're doing anything like this and it's only for yourself, like if it's for nobody else, then it's hard to hold yourself accountable to your own specific wants, because it's not a need, it's just a desire. And if you're not doing it for anybody else other than yourself, normally we have no problem letting ourselves down. Most people have no problem disappointing themselves. They don't want to disappoint other people, but they're okay disappointing themselves.
That's why I'm here for you, bro.
Appreciate it.
That's why I'm here for you.
Appreciate it. But it's even like with me, I'm trying to cut for summer right now because I've never actually had a summer where I was actually happy with my physique. Like it was never quite lean enough or whatever else. But in general population, like I am far more muscular and far more lean than the vast majority of people. Like when I tell people like, oh, I'm cutting for summer, people are like, what fucking body fat are you cutting? And I'm like, oh, I got this right here. And they're like, yeah, fuck off with your one pinch full. And I'm like, I get it. But it's a struggle that even I have. Like, I'm only doing it for myself. My wife is just happy with how I look. She doesn't give a fuck at all. My friends, like none of my friends are sitting there like, bro, other than Mike, none of my friends are sitting there like, you need to step shit up. Mike sits here, he's like, you're looking fat, motherfucker. You need to get bigger. What's wrong with why your arm's so small?
Yeah.
You know, he's the only one supporting me in that way. But like,
accountable, you know?
Exactly. But other than that, like, I'm doing this shit solely for myself. So when the evening rolls around and cravings hit, like, sometimes it's hard to hold myself accountable to that. For a lot of people, it's a social problem.
No, you don't gotta film me on this, bro. You don't gotta film me in any of this shit. I'm totally good not being filmed.
I'm not responsible for any of this.
Like this.
None of this one.
You're working out with Deb when you signed up for this.
That's cool. I never signed up for this actually.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
You always gotta wonder what goes through someone's head as they're doing the hip thrusts.
You know, this one thing that I've always told a lot of the new guys especially when they're in here, is you gotta find the biggest guy in the gym and make eye contact with him while you're doing this. I used to do that for a really long time and it just ended up always being me staring in a mirror, so kind of one of those things. Michael's just shaking his head, he's like, this motherfucker, right?
Yeah, no doubt. I'm bigger than you. I'm team dad.
In some ways.
No kids though.
True.
Team dad bod, no kids.
Yeah, because like I had one of my clients come to me recently. She's stalled out really bad with her weight loss. She's been sitting between 170 and 175 for about 2 months. but it's strictly just diet and like the discipline aspect, and like she got to where she is now, aiming for like roughly 7,000 steps in a day. I was talking to her and I told her, I was like, you know what, I want you to get under 170 on the scale before your next shoot meal. Like, I'm not gonna give you the thumbs up for another one until you're under there, because it's too much of just getting really close and then coming back up. She was very unhappy with me. She was very upset. And a lot of it was like internally negative emotions against herself, because she thought she was doing really good. And she is. It's not that she's not. But I had to bring it to light to her that you could always be doing better. And that's one of the big things that like a lot of people don't really realize is like, if your progress is stalled and you think you're doing good, you need to take a look at other people around you and see what they're doing in comparison to you, other people that are getting results and things like that. And then figure out where you can make those improvements yourself. I told her, I was like, right now, like you don't work today, do you? And she's, nope. And I'm like, it's 2 in the afternoon. You go to bed around 10. You have 8 hours. Get 12,000 steps today. Yeah, and she was just fucking mind blown. But I told her, I was like, you have literally no reason not to, other than you just don't want to. You have no responsibilities, you've got no kids, no animals, you gotta do whatever. Your husband's working all day, like you have no reason at all not to. And she was already at 6,000 steps for the day. She was upset with me, but she hit the 12,000 steps, and now she's sent me her weight again today, and it's getting closer, and it's getting closer. And initially, when I told her, I was like, I don't want you to do a cheat meal until you hit below 170, she was real upset because it's her mother's birthday this upcoming weekend, actually. Today's Wednesday, and the birthday is on Saturday. And I had told her this a week and a half ago. Sure, one time. But I had to like bring it to light to her, and at first she was really pissed off with me, really upset. She came back to me 2 days later and then apologized, and then thanked me for my patience with it. Where, you know, I think the big thing is a lot of people, they hold a lot of things against themselves and like their own character, like is what she did. She already thought she was doing good, which she is.
Right.
But the thing is, you can always do better, and it's a matter of, in order to achieve the physique that you want to achieve, you need to do things that you're not doing. And if you want to get better, you have to pursue progress and increasing your effort as you go. Things will get easier as you go, which means you have to keep making things harder to keep fucking moving forward. Which is why I fucking do so goddamn much on this machine now, it's awful. This is still warm-up set, by the way.
What? Oh my god.
I'm at 4.5. Yeah.
He says a warm-up set with 3 plates on each side. No excuses.
No excuses.
Just kidding. Don't put 3 plates on the hip thrusts.
If you're ever gonna do these,
Don't.
But if you're not gonna listen to that, I'll explain a bit of setup for you. I have the base here set up all the way up to the highest, so that I'm essentially as level as I can be, like parallel with the machine. When I set my feet up, I'm about hip width apart with my feet, toes slightly angled in, because I am trying to hit more glutes and everything, and that is the most optimal foot placement for that. Ideally, you wouldn't have this little headrest thing right here, and your neck could actually freely go in and out. The downside of this is it doesn't allow you to keep like a straight spine, so it can be bad for your neck. So if you have bad neck, maybe don't do it on this machine.
Okay, so I won't.
Yeah, don't do this. So go back to what I said at the beginning of this like little clip, and just don't. But if you're going to, that's how you do it. And then make sure that when you're holding onto the side, you're not gripping it hard. Otherwise, you're actually going to utilize a lot of your upper body strength to get this up. You'll notice if you watch the video closely, my muscles will engage and disengage, like my upper arm, as I'm going up and down, as like my body naturally tries to utilize it to help me out. Where I have to hold it, otherwise I'll slip out. But good luck. I'd recommend just not doing it. But if you choose to, that's how you'd want to do it. One of the things I find is like super fucked these days is how odd it is to try to like eat healthy, not drink alcohol, and do shit like that. Like, it's not normal. If you're gonna go hang out with friends, they offer you a drink and you say no, people are always asking why. It's not accepted to not want to drink. When you're not wanting to go and socialize at a fucking pub and eat shitty food or always going out for food because you're, eating healthy and whole foods on processed stuff, you get scolded for that. And it's really strange how like people like myself or just, honestly, any general normal gym goer, I'm not a normal gym goer, but like a general person that comes here that has some basic goals, that just wants to be healthier in life and shit, they're trying to avoid all the processed foods or excessive amounts and alcohol and all that shit. It's just like you get scolded socially because you're just trying to do better and be healthy. It's kind of fucked and ass backwards from how it should be. When, like, could you imagine going out and when someone's like, oh man, I could really go for a beer, and looking at them and being like, why? What are you trying to do? You're trying to prove something? Like, you're gonna be drinking some alcohol? Ooh. Like, people fucking do that if you don't want to drink a fucking beer. I go to a pub, and occasionally, depending on who I'm with, I order my lemon water. Give me that fucking weird ass look. And it's like, it's strange that trying to be healthier is not accepted socially.
Yep.
But drinking alcohol, eating shitty food, and not giving a fuck about your own personal future and your goals, that's what's normal. Society needs to change.
Yep.
I was laying in bed.
That's the worst. I don't recommend.
I had to go to the bathroom, and then I was like, "Hey, at 10:30, I'll go." And then I looked at my phone, and it was 10:34, and I was like, "Fuck!"
Damn it!
I thought it wasn't 10:30 yet. No, then I went like immediately because I already knew. I was so
The worst thing you can do when you're going to do fasted cardio is procrastinate. You got to get out of bed almost immediately, take whatever fucking pills you're taking to help you with it, and just get the fuck there and just start.
Yep.
Yeah. Do you remember Kafka?
I never did it.
The world split and it was like real world, and then the whole world fucking collapsed, and then there's this whole new world. I was like, they had the same coach.
Did they? The Jamie. But you got to
Max Hall.
Huh?
His name's Max Hall. He's a good guy. Really good.
How was they used to? That's it?
Just gonna lay here. Let me make sure to kick your fucking quad after you come up.
Come on, dude.
You're like, wait, no, why you gotta be so mean?
Yeah.
Big thing that separates everybody here who's willing to make sacrifices from the rest of like the general population. We all have dreams. Everybody thinks about what they want to potentially achieve one day, and that one day they're going to make the sacrifices to do it. But the difference is between something being a dream and a goal. When it's a goal, you have a plan to get there, and you're already ready to make the sacrifices to take it there. When people chastise you in public for making those types of sacrifices, most of the time it's because they as an individual aren't willing to make those same kind of sacrifices to be able to achieve their goals, to be able to achieve their dreams. And a lot of time, people will try to pull you back down to their level, especially if they're a friend of yours. Humans are herd animals. We don't like it when someone in our herd, our friend group, starts to like venture outside and do better, because that's where you have the opportunity of losing a friend, or losing somebody close to you, is if they ever think that they're better than you. And a lot of the times the reason that we think that is because we feel that that's how we would be. If we were making those sacrifices, we're gonna feel better than everybody else, and that we would stand above them. And so a lot of times people try to drag you down. But the big thing to always remember is like your dreams and your goals, nobody else is gonna achieve them for you. People will help you achieve them, but you're the one that has to make the sacrifices to get them. So don't let other people guilt you into abiding by their rules, their way of life, their comforts. Fuck their comforts. Chase your dreams, chase your goals. Make your sacrifices. Eat out of your fucking plastic containers. Bring your lunch everywhere. Skip out on drinks. Drink your water. Exercise. Whatever the fuck you want to do to hit your goals. Fuck everybody else. That's what I say. Enjoy the day.